What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'll break down what's going on with some big news that just came out involving NIO, what's happening with other tickers out there, what you should be watching for as time progresses. Before I break anything down, all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks. And this offer ends very, very soon. Anyways, now let's break down what's going on with NIO. NIO is down 1.61% for today as we got some negative news involving Morgan Stanley for today, but there's also some good news that came involving another company. But I just want to note that when NIO came down, we formed a really nice wick. And generally, when we see companies trying to do this, this is a sign of them trying to base and they're trying to form like a temporary bottom before they try to bounce, especially with the markets. So I just want to break down some important news about NIO, talk about how this relates to the markets, and some other things like that before I break down more details. First and foremost, we had some negative news which contributed as to why NIO ended up falling the way it did. So Morgan Stanley cut its price targets on NIO and XBONG while raising its price target on Li Auto, maintaining its overweight rating. This is some negative news, technically, at least for NIO, as they're basically saying that overall the Chinese auto industry should continue to grow, but they're looking at companies like NIO and arguing they're going to underperform, especially XBONG as well. So that's the way they kind of viewed it. They're saying this. They did a very, very slight price cut. They believe it's going to be around that $8 target very, very soon, but they're not expecting it to run as hard. And on top of that, they also mentioned that NIO is going to, run to about $13 a share instead of 18. So short term, I saw some analysts talking about $8 for NIO. That was back like about a week ago, and then we had other ones who are now saying that it's going to go to $13 instead of 18. So they're still bullish overall, but they're saying that it's not going to be as bullish in their view because of what they're seeing in NIO's margins and stuff like that. I can't help but beg to differ because of the fact that I think that NIO. It's very easy to underestimate NIO because of their margins, but one thing you have to remember is that these, big investors like to price in things at least for the long term. An example is Abu Dhabi. They bought in way back when NIO was at $7, right? And they're doing this in anticipation of what's about to come. They believe that despite these margins, it's going to still improve. It's going to grow once we get an economic clarity, once things start to improve for the next couple of years for the economies and the EV market grows. And once NIO starts scaling at a bigger rate, they're going to get closer to profitability. I still believe that, guys. I still believe in this company. I'm not losing faith in it whatsoever. People can have different opinions. I'm willing to share their opinions as to why they say that. They're talking about NIO's margins right now, which is technically a concern. But my difference is the fact that I think that this company will overcome, and I think that the management team will do a much better job. So I have a different view, but I'm still willing to listen to other people's opinions. Completely okay with me. Now we have some new news that came out. X Real has come out, and they basically are forming a partnership with NIO. Basically, they're going to show an in-vehicle AR entertainment experience using AR glasses, co-developed for NIO's smart electric flagship SUV, ES8, and etc. The collaboration pioneers have an immersive cinematic experience for passengers through AR glasses, minimizing the need for in-vehicle screens. That is once again going to be very useful as they're also partnering with other companies. I think BMW Group is also has also chosen to just like collaborate. So that's some good news for them. On top of this, there's a video of the ET9 production prototype with high frequency vibration tests, and it's showing lots and lots of growth and how well this vehicle is able to perform. Now, I also want to talk about our economic calendar. I kind of like skipped on that at least for a second. Looking at the economic calendar, I just want to mention that there's not really a whole lot coming out for tomorrow, just to clarify that. We have the Business Optimism Index report coming out. Besides that, we just have an Optimism Index report and then some Fed speakers. And that's pretty much it for tomorrow. Everything else is just very minor data. But that's pretty much it. We'll be looking to see how else things go. For NIO, we have a buy rating from Mizuho, which is not bad whatsoever. Price price ratio is dropping because NIO is looking relatively weak, but this could change over time once this thing tries to bounce. Tuesdays and Wednesdays going to be the strongest days of the week for NIO. Let's hope NIO does better for Tuesday. On top of all of this, I just want to mention some more potential. Volume was at about 50 million. That is very close to, if not a little bit below, the average volume of 76 million. This was higher than what we got last time at 42 million, so there's a slight improvement, but overall it's still a little bit down. So what do I see for the share prices? My analysis is very simple. We have this nice wick that's formed, which suggests that NIO is trying to base. It's going to likely gap down tomorrow with the market, start off a little bit weak around 7.8, but I think it's going to try to bounce and push back up. I think it's going to be retesting 8.2 and then kind of close a little bit in the green. I think that NIO hasn't fully filled this pre-market gap, might come down and bounce. And I think that we have this gap to fill right up here. We haven't fully filled the gap yet, so we'll just have to wait and see once that fills. But that's what I'm anticipating for NIO, a little drop and bounce. Now, as far as SPY goes, I just want to mention that SPY is still looking very strong overall. Got a very, very parabolic move to the upside. There's no sign of this breaking down yet. The daily looks bullish. We might gap down tomorrow and then just continue to push. We could see 476 within the next couple of days, and the market may hold up approaching CPI. I just want to mention that tomorrow is going to be Tuesday. There's not much data coming out. Wednesday has some minor data, but then Thursday is going to be very important on January 11th because we have CPI coming out. The market may hold up approaching CPI, and we'll see what happens afterwards. The daily looks bullish, guys. So we might gap down and start pushing up. 476 is on the table. SPY might have a little bit more upside, at least temporarily. As far as Aapl goes, the daily looks bullish. Going to be looking for a test of 188. I could see it pushing a little bit higher. Going to be looking for that top. We also have this big gap that's unfilled on Aapl. We'll see if we try pushing for that. QQQ looks bullish thanks to Nvda. We're actually testing this 404 area. If we break that, watch 406 tomorrow. If we break above this, we have a gap to fill. We could see the QQQ break out more. For Nvda, this thing is on fire. Basically, we hit 522. It's going to likely gap down tomorrow. But the reason why Nvidia exploded to new all-time highs is because of the fact that they announced a new chip that's going to be produced. The H20 AI chip is going to be coming out very, very soon. We're going to be watching to see how this ends up affecting the company. So with this new AI chip that's going to be developed, we're going to be looking to see this massive improvement in the mass production phase. And I think that as time goes on, we're going to look for a little retracement back down to 520, then another bounce. If it breaks 522.75, watch 525. If that breaks, we could be on our way for 530. There's no sign of this stopping yet. It is just continuing to run. So with that being said, those are the main four. I also need to do Tesla, and I'll go back to NIO. Forgot to mention Tesla. So Tesla's looking pretty good. On the 4-hour time frame, I just want to call out that Tesla has been hitting the 20 EMA. That's at 240. If you break this, watch 242, 244, 245, and then eventually the much higher 248s, basically, like all the way up here, 248. I think that with this bullish divergence that developed after we hit 234, and since we held the daily 200 EMA, there's a very good chance that Tesla's going to be pushing for at least 244 plus over the next couple of days, approaching CPI, possibly even getting very close to 250. So I'm going to look for a nice bounce. I think it's going to be pushing up. And I think that the market is going to help NIO to some extent. Now, NIO looks like it's a little bit weak during the after hours. It might actually retest 7.8. And then we might bounce, forming kind of like an inverse head and shoulder structure. This could be a reversal signal with this wick forming. And then we might see this thing try to push back up towards, in my opinion, our 200 EMA at 8.2. I think it's going to try to bounce a little bit, push just a little bit upwards. Because if you look at the daily, we have a potential bullish candlestick. 8.2 is going to likely be retested, so look for a little drop and then bounce. And I think that we might see a bounce tomorrow, if not by Wednesday, approaching CPI for NIO. So that's my prediction, guys. Look for a little drop and bounce on NIO. Let's hope we get a green day tomorrow. With that said, have a great day, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow. NIO to the moon is long term is still very bright, and peace out.